Welcome to Beyond the Arc with Coach Gebbia, Dan Laing, Megan Gebbia, and coming off a tough game on the road at Bucknell, a game that you knew would be a tough one.
Yeah.
Caitlin Moretti, though, played pretty well.
Yeah, I think she kind of likes playing in that gym. She didn't play there last year, the first game of the season, because she was out with a stress fracture. But I think you could tell, like even in warm-ups in the pregame and stuff, she was ready to go. She had a lot of energy yesterday. So I was really glad to see that, like, she took that energy and attacked and used it to her advantage. Even though, we didn't play great as a group, she kept talking to the team throughout the entire game, just like focus on the next play, focus on whatever it is that you do well, do your job, do your role, and even if we don't win the game, at least we're trying to improve throughout this game. And I thought that was a great leadership spot for her, for the team to listen to her talk in a situation that doesn't feel great at the time. But she always has a positive view of things, and I think that's helpful for this year's team.
How has she grown in that leadership spot?
It's just the communication piece. Like before she would let somebody else handle it, and now she can't. So it's harder for her, I think, because she's the lone captain. But I do know that they care about her, and they care about what she has to say and her vision and what she sees for the future for the team. And no one's given up. No one's given up at this point. We know we have a lot of growth to do, but we're still working on getting better. And I know she sees that the team could be really good come February, March.
And you look at a player like you speak of playing your role, knowing your role.
Yeah.
Laura Graytalk seems to be one of those players that knows her role and really is playing in a role. You may look at the box score and numbers may not flash out at you, but there are things that you notice as a coach.
Oh, absolutely. Laura, when she got in there from the very beginning, you could see like she was in help side. She got a couple steals. She got to loose balls, rebounds, things like that had a really nice assist to Carla, which was nice against the press. Like there's so many little things that she does that are so valuable, and I think she understands that this group needs that. And I think Laura probably views herself more as a scorer, and she can score. But right now, I think what we need from her are those little things that she's providing, and then score when the opportunity presents itself. So yeah, I'm excited for her. I'm really hoping she continues to move along, and then if she gets those scoring opportunities, then hopefully they go in.
You mentioned Carla Vrez continues to get better, continues to see more minutes.
Yeah, I really like what she's been doing. I think Carla is one that, she's 21 years old, by the way, so she's a freshman who's 21, and I just think she has a ton of confidence. I don't worry about where her mental state is putting her in the game. She's always ready to go, and she knows what she brings. And she gets opportunities, and she takes advantage of those opportunities. And as we move through the conference, I think you're going to see her grow even more and more because she's going to get more comfortable. She knows what every team has and where she could see herself fitting in. So I'm hoping as we move forward that she takes on a little bit more of an offensive role.
Let's rewind back for a second to the Lehigh game.
Yep.
Tough loss.
Yeah.
It was a 1-point loss. The game-winning shot from Cameron Burr happened, I think it was 2 seconds to go. From a coaching perspective, what do you tell your team after a game like that to not let that sit in?
That it's not one play, right? That you have to deal with it head on and really look at it objectively and sit there and say, like, we could have done this better, this better, this. It didn't come down to that one play. Even though it looks like it comes down to that one play, it never really does. And I think we pointed out all the mistakes that we had made as a group in probably the last couple minutes of the game. And it doesn't always come down to that either. I really think foul trouble hurt us in the first half, and then we had to sit people for longer periods of time. And so that, to me, was the biggest problem. It wasn't the very end, even though we needed to work on our sideline out-of-bounds defense, and we've done that since then to try to correct some of the mistakes that we made. But I think for them, it was a confidence builder in its own right. I mean, you can play with preseason number 1. At least at home you can. So that's a good sign. And so even though it was disappointing and a kind of heartbreaking loss, you have to move on from it, and you have to learn. And I think they've learned. We didn't necessarily take it into the Bucknell game, but again, that's another lesson that we have to learn in this journey that we're on this year, and it's learning how to play in someone else's gym.
India Sanders played well in the Lehigh game, almost had a triple-double, 16 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists.
Yeah.
And she seemed like everything was clicking for her.
It really was. I mean, that's the best I think I've ever seen India play since she's been here. She just commanded the ball. She made great decisions. They changed defenses a lot, and it didn't seem to faze her at all as a point guard, and that's what you want. She was in control. She showed some leadership. She took shots that were there, made them for the most part, right? So I think that was big. Knew to get the ball to Jade at the end. Like those types of things are what we're looking for on a consistent basis. So yeah, I was really proud of India. I mean, what a game for her, and I hope that she can build off of that game and move forward.
Turnaround on Saturday. You guys are on the road again.
Yes, we are.
And you're up in Worcester, Mass. against the Crusaders,
Yep.
another lofty team to take on.
Yeah, it's supposed to snow. We might get stuck up there. I'm not really sure. But yeah, so Holy Cross has a ton of talent. Almost all 5 positions are seniors, so they know what they're doing. And they have the preseason player of the year in Lauren Manis. So that's going to challenge us. It's going to challenge our defense. Who can guard her one-on-one? How much do we have to help? And then do we rotate? Because they used to be, I don't know if they still are, you can double check me on this, but they were number 1 in the country in 3-point field goal percentage. So that's dangerous when you have Manis inside and 3-point shooters around her. Again, it's going to be a great test for us again on the road. We've got to kind of pick ourselves up after this last game and move forward and take the lessons and just move on. I can't wait to see how we perform after a game like Bucknell.
Well, best of luck up there in Worcester, Mass.
Thank you.
We have a timeout here on Beyond the Arc. When we continue, assistant coach Emily Stallings joins the conversation. That's next.
Welcome to our sleepy little college town. You may have heard of us. Here we stand up for causes as naturally as we sit down for classes. We believe that knowledge, understanding, and discovery will make the world a better place, and that our contributions are only limited by our imaginations. Words, medals, and degrees don't make us who we are. Meaningful change does.
We are American.
And there's nothing we would rather be.
Welcome back to Beyond the Arc. Dan Laing, now joined by, Coach Gebbia is still here, and Emily Stallings joins the conversation, assistant coach. Thanks for taking some time.
Absolutely. Happy to be here.
Yeah.
Now, you have been on Meg's staff for the entire tenure that she's been here at AU. What's that been like?
I mean, obviously it's been great.
Right.
I've been here since I was 23 years old, so it's been a great 7 years. It's been great with building the program and taking home some championships, and she's a wonderful boss and a great person, so obviously.
Yeah, I know. I mean, she has to say that.
Yeah.
It's fine.
But I wouldn't still be here assistant coaches don't stay places 7 years in a row for the most part, especially at the mid-major level, so I can't say enough good things about her and about the program, about the university, so it's been a great 7 years so far.
Now, she was a player at Marist
Yeah.
when you were coaching there. What did you see from her as a player that led you to think, she'll be a pretty good coach?
Intelligence, obviously. I mean, I think she would tell you in particular that she's like, I wasn't the greatest college player, but I understood what was going on.
Yeah.
And she always tried to help her teammates go through things, whether it was the scout defensively or just offensive principles. She was always trying to help them when she wasn't playing. Emily had a few injuries as a player, so she was out quite a bit,
Yeah.
so she had that opportunity to kind of have a voice in practice. And you notice those things when you're a coach because you want players to start thinking like you. And Emily seemed to always think like us as a staff up there, and so you knew down the road if she wanted to coach it, she'd be really good at it. And lo and behold,
Here she is.
Yeah.
And you work a lot with the wings,
Yep.
right? It's your big focus?
Yep. I have Jade, India, Maddie, and Lauren Stack are my group, and I was with the post players the first 3 years, I think, with Tiff, and then Meg gave me the opportunity to kind of have my own group 4 years ago, I think, and kind of took it over and have enjoyed every second of it. They're enthusiastic group. They're entertaining, all of them, and I've had some great kids over the years, and it's really fun to be able to work out with them and just kind of be able to mentor them a little bit throughout their tenure.
Yeah, she's done a great job with the Wings. I think, in particular, Emily Kinnison, who was Player of the Year a couple of years ago, I think Emily had a lot to do with her development as a player and just her mental psyche. Because a lot of times as an assistant, head coaches are worried about X's and O's and putting people in the right spot. They're doing that, but they're also watching how they react and respond. I can't worry about those things, right? Emily does a really good job of recognizing what they need in the moment, especially in the heat of the moment in games. And I think Emily Kinnison wouldn't have gotten to where she was at the end of her senior year if as we say, Stalls. I don't want Emily and Emily, but Stalls, took a big hand in that. And I'm obviously very thankful for that, and obviously it helped our program and win a championship.
Now, another big part of your responsibilities is dealing with the alums, the alumni, and trying to keep in contact with them. How tricky is that? How much of a process is that to keep in contact with so many people?
It's always it's interesting because you never know. Everybody's at different stages in their lives, and obviously with the students that we have at AU, like they're very driven and focused in their careers. But it's also nice that they're willing to give back and come back to the program. We had our alumni game on this past Saturday, and had quite a few people who both played for our staff and played for previous staffs who came back and enjoyed the game. And it's just been great to see the alum over the years, like kind of mentor some of our current players and be connected to the program, which is great. I know Erin Zimmerman went to the same high school as Maddie Doring, and she's kind of been in her ear a little bit and helping her through the process. Same thing with Michelle Holmes, is kind of taking Taylor Brown under her wing a little bit. So it's kind of nice that they both want to come back and enjoy the university, but also want to be involved with our team as well.
And is that kind of tough when you're dealing with players from other coaching staffs when they don't really know who you are, and now you're reaching out? Granted, they know the program, but you're reaching out and they're like, wow, what, who, what?
Honestly, they've been great. I think AU kind of breeds that kind of cohesiveness. So I think even the players that didn't play for us, they've been great. We have the blue-white scrimmage every year, and we had a big group of alum who came from the 2005 team. And first off, they lit some of our kids up. They can still play back from graduating in 2005. But they were just great, kind of giving their insight on where they were as players here and how much the program's grown. And I think it's just great that they are willing to give back to people that they necessarily don't have a connection to, because they don't have a connection to our staff right away. But we're still trying to breed that with them every year. We're trying to reach out. We're trying to communicate with them. We're trying to get as many as we can to come back to games and keep it moving from there.
What exactly is the blue-white?
So we try to, what we'd like to do is bring as many alum back for that day and scrimmage our existing team. And sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't. But to get as many people involved with the program, because that's one way. I mean, they were here, they played basketball, right? So they all have that in common. And then to see where the program is, like Emily was saying, to try to build that cohesiveness between former alum. It doesn't matter who they played for at this point. They all went to the same school. That's how I see it. So we want them to be a part of the program. And then afterwards, we have like a meal upstairs in KPL, and we just have the players ask them questions about the future, what it's like, what to expect, help them through the situation that they're in now. I know our sophomores were asking them about the sophomore slump and what that is and what that's like. And it was just funny to hear like the response. I mean, they were saying it's mental, it doesn't have to be that way. And I think it was really good for the sophomore class in particular to hear that, that they care, that the alumni care. Like she's saying, I love seeing different alum from different coaching staffs, because that means they still care about the development of the program. And the only way to get better is to bring as many people in together and keep building towards that overall cohesive program. So for us, I love it. I think our alumni are terrific. We just hope that they continue to be a part, and I think they really want to see us be successful. At the end of the day, they want to be either at the NCAA tournament game or sitting in a bar watching us play or whatever, and cheering for us. So that's nice to know that they have our back, and that we're working towards more success.
And you have the blue-white scrimmage.
Yep.
You have the alumni day,
yep.
And then you also have the guest coaching thing. How much does that sort of play into trying to get some alums to maybe come back and be a part of that part of
I think they like that part, right? 'Cause they know what to expect. At least the ones that played for us understand how we go about our business for game day. But for those that haven't, it's always an interesting experience for them. And then again, it just ties in, maybe these people can help the existing players down the road get a job or something. Just making connections is what life is all about, right? And getting ahead in the future. And I hope that our players take advantage of that. And we try to put people in front of them as much as possible, even if it's not alum and it's professors on campus or whatever, donors and stuff. And we just want, those connections. And we want people to feel like they're a part of what we're doing.
Now, as far as reaching out, does that mean you have to really be big with the social media and Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and I don't even know what other platforms?
Yeah,
I know I'm forgetting a couple of them.
Yeah, we try and keep up with that quite a bit. It's a lot of emails, a lot of I spend a lot of time with alumni, even not in formal settings. Like I go, especially the ones who live in the area. I have good connections with like Jen Dumiak and Michelle Holmes live in the area. And I see them quite a bit. So it's just more staying in contact through all the means.
Any snail mail anymore or no?
No, not so much anymore. We don't do that anymore. But it's mostly emails and social media and just straight text messages like, hey, how's everything going? That kind of stuff, just to stay connected. And I mean, we really enjoy all the people that we've coached and stay connected, and they're great people. So it makes it really easy. It's like after they graduate, they're friends afterwards for us.
And is that really the best way to keep in contact? And if someone wants to reach out and become a part of it that hasn't yet, to do so on social media, what's the best way?
I mean, social media, email, you can call me, it doesn't matter to me. I just like when we get different people back who have not been back yet, because obviously 7 years, it's been a while, and we get a lot of common ones back. But when you have that person who, I haven't been back in 20 years, like that's pretty cool when somebody comes back to the program. We had a couple this year at the alumni game who hadn't been back for a while, so that was nice to kind of get some more people back in and kind of keep filling the seats with some of our alum and keep getting them to come back a little bit more.
Well, hopefully we'll see more of that. And to keep up with the Eagles and to reach out and get a hold of Coach Stallings, you can do so across all the social media platforms. For the coaches, I'm Dan. We'll see you next time.